What's happening, guys?
What's up, guys? Malt review time.
Time for museum type whiskey, epic whiskey, one of the best whiskeys we've ever tried.
Absolutely.
It is the Caol Ila 15-year-old Manager's Dram.
Oh.
Mikey, you want to kind of explain to them what that means, what the Manager's Drams are?
Yeah, so this bottle was never sold. It was a gift given for appreciation to the staff, to various friends, they say, of the distillery, and 15 years old, bottled 1990, and specially selected all sherry matured casks by the distillery manager, and bought at 63% ABV.
This was bottled, they have the date on there, 25/7/1990. So in 1990, says age for 15 years, so assuming the youngest whiskey in here is 15 years, that would be 1975. I don't know if there's older whiskey in there or not, but the youngest would be from 1975.
Yeah.
This is, the reason why we purchased this is it is considered by many connoisseurs to be the best Caol Ila ever bottled.
Oh.
Other people will say top two. But if you talk to anybody that's very serious about whiskey, this for Caol Ilas, this is in their top 2 or 3. This is people that have tried everything. Before the reviews even started, I could tell you it's the best Caol Ila we've ever had.
Definitely.
This thing goes for about anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000, depending on where you're looking. Auction, you're probably gonna get it for around $6-7 grand. I believe the Whiskey Exchange, you said, has it for $8,500.
Yes.
So it's a very expensive whiskey. We're talking about perhaps the best whiskey from a big-time distillery, so it's not a joke.
Yes, sir.
All right. You know, we always joke, not joke, but we always say every time we have this, there's a characteristic, Mr. Samaroli, the Samaroli legendary bottlings, they have this magic to them. They have this characteristic to them that you just can't explain. It's almost like he had this palate, he was looking for something, and there was just this cask strength concentrated version of magic that he would find, and that's what I get in this. Blindly, I would say this is a sherry whiskey selected by Samaroli.
I think Silvano was the manager, dude.
Yeah. So we always say this is not a Samaroli bottling, but we consider it part of our Samaroli collection.
It's like a secret.
It's got that, it's just got that to it.
It's fucking otherworldly, dude.
Yeah, it's good in this glass, huh?
It's amazing in this glass.
Because it's 63% alcohol.
Yeah.
So when you put it in that big opening of the glass that we normally do it at, the alcohol does hit you a little bit more, right? Even though this is very refined. But this is a beast. This is a total beast. You're getting meats. You're getting, think about the best red meat you've ever had with a rich, like, wine sauce on top of it. So a fine steak with, like, a rich sauce made with, like, a fine wine. It's got burnt toffees and caramels with that, like, brown butteriness, richness, the vinegars, that rich cola, ton of that.
You said steak. It's like filet with like a Bordelaise sauce, like a dark, dirty Bordelaise sauce, but made out of like a sherry vinaigrette, balsamico.
It's got that dirty element to it, right? It's almost like
nasty.
It's almost like approaching like almost farmy, not like a Brora farmy. I don't know how to explain it, but it's
the peat element.
It's the peat element, yeah. But it's got some dirt to it, but with like rich sweetness and like lots of meats and herbs and mushrooms and pine trees and cedar and sandalwoods. The muskiness, like that whenever I say musky, I think of like some of these fine like colognes. Yeah. It's like,
no, bro, you nailed it. It's like approaching that distinct Brora level, but no animals, no farm animals. Yeah. It's all at the ground level. It's all like all the growth and vegetation, like you said, earth and herbs and the funk, but it's like dirty like that, big time.
I think.
Oh yeah.
In terms of if I really wanted to, if I did a handwritten, if I wanted to write down the notes on this, if I was doing a written review, I don't know if there's a whiskey where I could write more things than maybe the Springbank Samaroli, but like literally, like I could write down thousands of notes. I could start getting into vegetables. I could start getting into it's insane. This is insane.
Yeah, no, different. Like
it doesn't make sense for me to do this because people are gonna leave. But this is.
Yeah, even like you said, the earthy, exotic like root vegetables and like rhubarb and shit, like caramel, cola, sherry vinaigrette, rhubarb and shit.
You know, I've had a lot of rhubarb. Growing up in Sweden, we used to just pick it off the ground when we were at school. We used to peel it. Yeah. We used to just eat it. It was soury. It was earthy. And you know, then we'd add sugar to it at home and make pies with it. So I'm very familiar with rhubarb. It definitely has that. It's got black licorice. It's got cough syrup. It's got just everything, man. Like I'm staring into the kitchen and I'm looking at that cupboard. I'm like, okay, what's in there? I'm like, I can think of everything. What's in there? It's like it's just. I could sit here and give you notes for days. This is.
Dude, you just nailed it. You said, like we always do. You said kitchen, man. It's like open your cupboard of your spice drawer and then shove your nose in there. That's exactly what you get. But every single one simultaneously, everyone's powerful. But then all coated with cola and sherry vinaigrette and balsamico. But it's everything.
We have never had it in this glass. This is the...
This glass is the best, man.
How do you pronounce that? The
like
Ish?
Eish?
Is it German?
Like yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's a really, really good glass. I believe that Glencairn is the standard. If you're only going to have one glass, that's the one to have because it just works with everything. But if you want to take your whiskey and have your 4 or 5 favorite glasses, try them out of each and figure out which whiskey works best with each, because sometimes with cask strength, it could give off a little too much of one thing, then you can't pick out the complexities. With this glass, it's very easy to get those little fine complexities.
Yeah. This is definitely the best one for our like cask strength Samaroli beasts and stuff. 57 plus.
Yeah, this tends to work really well. The Copita glass is amazing too. Gives you like a lot of rich flavors, but it kind of holds it in the right way. But yeah, experimenting with glass. We'll do a glass review for you guys. We have a lot of glassware.
Dude, this is up there for complexity, man.
Yeah, but just the woods play. How many different kind? You're walking into a woodshed. And I mean, you're walking into an old bookstore, you're walking into the library from the dusty, leathery, sandalwoody, musky, vinaigrette-y, icing sugary, burnt caramelly, just mushroomy, pine tree, just from everything. Everything.
The funny part is, dude, we haven't even mentioned a fruit yet.
That's given.
That's how crazy it is.
Yeah,
dude.
that's not what you need to concentrate on.
You aren't even like focusing on the fruits.
Because you can go get a regular bottle right now at the store and pick out a bunch of fruits. You just don't even want to point in talking about the fruits. That's how special this whiskey is.
That's what I'm saying. Fuck the fruits, man. This everything else is just taking over, mind blowing, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, we can go on forever.
Oh my god.
We can go on for the forever, but for the sake of the review, let's take a sip at 63%. Woo! Concentration. Woo!
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. That strength is what makes everything, dude. Oh my god.
Wow.
It's all in there. Oh my god, dude.
This is like...
Wow, bro.
this is like Lefroy Samaroli's, like...
This is getting there, dude.
This is like... This
is, again, remember, those big high cask strength beasts, it's a journey. Even though it's beautiful, it's exquisite, it was amazing, the alcohol was still blocking some stuff in the very beginning. It's right there. This is the best we've ever had it.
This is Paxaret.
Wow.
This is that Paxaret magic combined with just obviously the best cask in the world. This is truly incredible. It's a meal. Like it's very heavy. You don't want to have a lot of this. I think a half ounce will go hours and hours. Apologize, you guys. Video got cut off, so we kind of had to redo it. But anyways, we were on the palate. It just explodes. It just explodes on the palate. We're just from the earthy elements to the rich, dark caramels and burnt caramels and balsamico and pine tree and like walking into that woodshed that we were talking about and the earth, the old books and the leathers. And it's just really intense. Amazing. Just perfection on the palate.
It's just like, the biggest thing is like the sugars, brown, like boiling, hot brown sugar coming out, all the cola, Paxarette, the sherry vinaigrette, and like you mentioned before, the steak. It's like A5 Wagyu, like fatty, perfectly like sweet steak, filet, whatever, with like dark Bordelaise sauce, sherry vinaigrette, balsamico, like this dirty flavor, mushrooms, black truffles. Crazy. I know
we have to pour a little bit more. Video got cut off. Finished the review and we're redoing it, so it's a little weird to do that.
Got better.
But I'm trying to think of what I said before, and I had to take another sip to be able to say what I said before.
It's back. Oh yeah.
It is that prosciutto.
Yeah.
It is that prosciutto, and you're putting that balsamico on top of it. You're putting that gorgeous olive oil on top of it, and you're just rolling it up, and it just takes you to that magical place. It's that earthy, it's that brewery-ness that we said, minus going to the farm animals.
Right.
But it's like vegetal, it's grassy, it's a little farmyardy. It's almost like if I really wanted to sit down and write, give all the tasting notes, I could think of tons of vegetables, tons of herbs. We mentioned before that you open up the kitchen cupboard, that cupboard right there, I'm getting herbs and spices and soy sauce and rosemary and this. It's just like everything. I'm looking in the kitchen right now, and I'm like, if I open that cupboard right there, I'm getting that, and that. And I open up the kitchen right there, I'm getting that, and that. It's everything. It's like a complete meal. It's a complete luxury meal in a glass. It's just absolutely stunning. Just absolutely stunning.
Remember the root vegetables, like rhubarb and stuff, like crazy types of vegetables, but in a sweet, sherry caramelized way that you rarely get in other whiskeys.
It's a whiskey that, you can go on forever. I mean, it's another one of those whiskeys where your tasting notes don't really matter.
Right.
Share your expressions, like to show you how much you really enjoy it, is almost going to do it more justice than, especially when it's on video rather than the notes.
Oh my God.
But how thick and custardy and just burnt sugary, creme brulee, balsamico, soy sauce, prosciutto, ham, and let's add water because we did get cut off, and we had brought this down to about 55% from 63%. And when you do that, crazy fruits start coming out.
Yeah, but again, from the get-go, that 63% thick, rich, glue, viscosity, coating every part of the palate, down the jawline.
This becomes so fruity right away on the nose when you add a little bit of water.
Nuts.
It starts coming out like sweet pineapples and sweet oranges and mandarins, orange oil. You mentioned that 100-year-old Grand Marnier
and like you mentioned, dragon fruit, like avatar fruits, like kumquats, kiwis, super exotic fruits.
Stone fruit and Japanese pears.
Yeah.
It almost becomes that,
It's insane, dude.
I didn't stop. I could just keep going forever. Now I'm like walking through like a rainforest, and it just goes everywhere. It goes everywhere.
Those elements, walking in a humidor, walking through a Japanese rainforest where it just rained for 1,000 days straight, and then the leaves are just dripping with sweet rain, and you go and reach out and grab like an exotic fruit off it. It's like,
it's rusty, man. It's
all
just
that
rusty
stuff.
sherry.
Yeah, hella rusty.
Concentrated. Oof. Sip on the with water.
Mmm.
With Cheetah, we got double drams of this tonight. We haven't had this whiskey in 3 years.
Oh my God, man.
First time having it in 3 years.
Oh my God.
And
Oh my God.
And I'm telling you, you can, at 63% concentrated whiskey like this, it's not going to go flat. It's never going to go flat. You can leave this open for 20 years, it's not going to go flat. It's rich and powerful. And we haven't had a dram in 3 years. It's exquisite.
Dude, and
it's flawless sherry.
The oak play, man. The oak play, the peat, exotic caramelized wood polish, antique furniture, antique oak, cedar, mahogany, sandalwood. It's got everything. The water brings it all out. Sweet with the sweet, fresh fruits. Mind blowing.
The leathery elements, the cigar. It's like you're opening up a brand new box of Cohibas.
Ooh.
You know, Esplendidos, which we're going to have later tonight.
Oh my God, it's nuts, dude.
It's
Oh my God.
the dusty old bookstore. There's an old bookstore down the street. I literally walk into it sometimes just to get that smell, since I mention it in my whiskey reviews all the time.
Compare the senses.
Yeah, literally, I walk in the store. I walk close to the book, further away from the book, almost like I'm doing a whiskey review.
So cool.
Yeah. Oh, and it's in an empty glass. It's so fruity and luscious.
So unique, man.
This is, you want to give a dram to someone who's tried a lot of whiskey. Someone's tried a couple thousands of whiskeys, but hasn't tried like those old school epic museum piece whiskeys. This might be the one to give, to be like, here's what the next world is.
Yes.
Because it does not take any kind of realizing. Like sometimes, like when you try a lot of the old school whiskeys, you really figure out the differences compared to the new stuff. You really kind of get to learn it. But you could give someone a half ounce of this, and they will automatically realize the insane magic of it.
The wow
right
factor.
away. Any whiskey drinker would.
Connection.
It's right there. There's no figuring it out.
Right.
It just stands out in that way. It just explodes in that way. The finish is the longest finish ever.
It hits
ever.
you, man. It hits you.
Yeah.
So different.
Truly amazing. We got cut off, so I feel like we didn't do as good as we did the original run out.
Right.
Got a little weird by doing that, but we didn't want to start all over. So we did another second session. We'll combine the two. So apologize for that if it got a little weird. But it doesn't matter. What matters is this is one of the best whiskeys in the world. It's open. We're enjoying it. It's on video. And I love that. I love that. I hope you guys love that. This has to be a 96 out of 100. It's that good. It's one of the best whiskeys in the world.
And like I said before, it's a journey. You look at it, it's like halfway down, a little more than halfway down. We first opened it, it was epic too, but it just keeps getting better. And this is the best I've had it. And the bottle's screaming at me like I want to give it 97. It's that good, but relative to other 97s we've had, and like we mentioned before, little technicalities like the alcohol might be a little tiny bit there, a little too much. And it does get a little tiny bit too oaky in some parts, like being very technical, almost like technical, like, you know, tiny bit of flaws, whatever. I'll give it 96, but it's like a 96 and a half. The enjoyment, complexity, uniqueness, how special it is, it just screams out.
And we'll make a video or a little hangout session where we do cigars and we hang out and talk, like we've done in an episode before, where we'll talk about scoring. We take scoring very seriously, but you know, it varies too. It just depends on what you've had. you know, if I'm having something like this, and you give me a whiskey that maybe last week I scored a 90, I might only give it an 88 because I don't have whiskey like this all the time, right? You guys see these reviews, but once you have a whiskey like, it's just every time you have a whiskey this good, you just start scoring the other whiskeys down, right? And all it takes is 1 dram of this. So anything like after this that I have, it's gonna get scored down.
Done.
Automatically, it's gonna get scored down.
Before, when we first opened it, like that era, kind of, we were spoiling ourselves, and we were drinking stuff like this all the time. And it was like desensitizing us and making every other bottle undrinkable.
We had a year
undrinkable.
We had a year where we were just drinking epic museum piece whiskeys like all the time.
Yeah.
And it kind of ruined the rest of our collection. I'm looking at like 300-400 bottles that are open, and I'm like, I don't even want any of these. I just want to drink these 15 bottles over here. Forget these other 400 bottles that are open, and we had to stop. I told Mike we need to stop, and Mike was pouring them like heavy, like 2-ounce pours, and I was like, we need to stop. This needs to be only when we get together, and it's like special occasion, or else it just kind of ruins all the other whiskeys, right? You know, if you're gonna go to the finest steakhouse every night, and then you have your average, regular, good steak from your grocery store, it's just not going to be good anymore, right? But if that's a special occasion, a birthday dinner, you know, an anniversary dinner, or if you're going to drink, I don't know, if you're going to drink Cristal champagne every time,
right,
then on your birthday or anniversary, you pop a bottle of Cristal or Dom Perignon open, it's just a regular thing. So you can't do that. So it needs to be put in perspective. So whiskeys like this, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're wealthy and you have a bunch of them. You still can't do it. You still need to put it all in perspective. And that's what it is. But we're definitely going to make a video on how we technically analyze a whiskey from the barley to the yeast to the cask. You know, I don't know if I've mentioned it before in other reviews, but you know, the barley can be very oily and sweet, and I think did we talk about that in our Boma review? I think I mentioned it in our Boma review. Okay, I won't talk about it again because we just did that review. But anyways, it's something that we need to talk about, how we score, how we analyze it from a technical standpoint to a enjoyment standpoint.
From a factor, like a wow factor.
Absolutely. And also the factor of, what have I had in the last 3-4 months, right? If I haven't had anything like this, some of those other regular bottles tend to start scoring a little bit better.
Yeah,
so when you have stuff like this, everything starts scoring down. And I don't care how perfect of an analyzer you are and how many drams you've had, situations start mattering, right? If I'm having it with you, we're having a great time, it's going to be a little bit better than whether I'm just sitting on the couch by myself. You know?
Like after having
the experience.
Having this, I think it's going to recalibrate everything in the future.
Yeah. Anyways, epic whiskey. I don't want to go on too long. We'll see you guys soon for many more reviews. Please subscribe. Click the thumbs up if you want to see more reviews like this coming of these epic museum piece style whiskeys. Cheers, everyone.